Hi everyone, thank you so much for sending me some fantastic work last week. It's been great to see how you have all been having a go at making wheels and axles and even chassis for your car. And I love that some of you have sent me through some amazing videos. It's been so nice to watch all of those in school, and they've definitely put a smile on all of our faces, seeing your lovely happy faces, having fun and doing lots of great learning. So now I'm just going to show you some fabulous work that I have had from some of you lovely people at home. So I've got some pictures, as you can see on the screen. Up here I've got a diagram of the different materials that you can use to make your axles and your wheels, which I had sent in. And I've also got a photograph of some resources that you have been using to have a go at making these. So here you can see that you've got a skewer that's been snapped in half to have a little go at making the axle. So it's been great to see all of those, and I've been really pleased with everything I've seen so far. So moving forward today, what we've been doing over the past week is having a go really at exploring the different materials that we would use to eventually put all our toy model car together. So some of you might have found that actually the resources that you used the first time around weren't that effective. For example, the axles might have been too thin, the wheels weren't smooth enough. So we need to use all those things that we have learned to have a go at designing our proper model that we're going to make this week. And this needs to be the best model that we can. So hopefully you've been gathering lots of resources and started getting lots of ideas ready for this. So I'm going to show you a little video in a second because I want us to start thinking about what do we need to include on our design for our models. So whilst we're watching this video, have a little think about what you want to include on your car. Just going to get it up on the screen now for us to have a little look at. And hopefully you can all see that at home too. So here you can see we've got a nice red car, and maybe you're thinking, oh, you know what, on my design, I want to have the exhaust, I want to have the 4 wheels and 2 axles to make sure that it can move properly. You might also be thinking about whether you want your car to have doors or some sort of hole for a passenger so that you can put a passenger into your toy car, okay? You even might start to think about the different colour that you might want for your model. So like the previous one was red, whereas this one is silver. So maybe you're thinking about the decorations that you might be using on your design for your model as well. You might be start thinking about the size of your model and the shapes of your model. So obviously the different materials that you use are going to create a different shape for somebody to have a look at. So have a think about what that is, because here you can see we've got a larger toy car, fit more passengers in it. So maybe if you had a go at making a smaller model last week, this time you want to have a go at making a bigger model with bigger resources and materials that you can find at home. So hopefully that's given you quite a few ideas that you can go away with and start thinking about, and also last week as well. And now I want you to think carefully about what you want to include on your design. So do you want to include wheels, how many, etc. So just pause this video and just have a couple of minutes just thinking about what you want to include on your model. So once you've had a little chat and discussion about that, I'm going to go through what I think are important for my model. And you might have got some of these ideas at home as well. So looking at what other people have done and what we've talked about before, we know that we need wheels and axles on our model, okay? Because if we don't, then the model itself, the chassis, is not going to move, okay? And we said that's the most important thing we're to put on use of our car, is that it can transport people or toys from one place to another. You might want to be exploring as to how many wheels you want on yours and how many axles you want on yours as well. So remember when I said at the start of this, some cars used to only have 3 wheels. So maybe you want to have an explore as to whether 4 or 3 wheels is better for your design, especially like racing cars, they might be narrower at the front. So have a little think about that. You also might want to think about a space for a passenger. Okay, so where is your passenger going to go? Just like we've looked at car doors so that people can get in and out of cars, maybe you want that on the side, or maybe you want it on the top like these designs here. You might also want like a spoiler on the back or even a boot to store things. All right, so we're going to have a go at creating a little list of things that I need to make sure that I'm including on my design today. So we've said that we want to include wheels, axles so that that can support the wheels. We also need, don't forget, washers to hold the wheels in place, because otherwise the wheels will just fall off the axles. We need a chassis, so that we've got something that will hold the body of our car. We might want to think about where the passenger is going. That might be doors or a seat. We also want to have a little think about decoration. So you might want to think about what colour you want your car to be, okay? Or even thinking about windows. Do you want your car to have windows so that the passenger can see out of it? You might add different things to your design because it's your car with your design choices. So have a little explore with the toy cars you've got at home and think about what you want to be on your model. Because remember, it's personalised to you. And hopefully now your parents are probably loving me lots, but you've got a box of lots and lots of materials and resources that haven't gone in the recycling bin at home, okay, that you can use to help make your models. And you might have some idea as to what resources have worked better than others. So different ideas for wheels and axles you might have found are skewers or straws or cocktail sticks, paintbrushes, pencils, anything you can get your hands on that are going to hold the wheels, okay? So something that you can pop the wheels on and then hold the wheels with the washer. You might have found for the wheels that you've got plastic bottle caps, you might have found that you've got even blue tack or coins, or anything that you can get a hand of that's smooth and round to have a go at doing the wheels. In terms of the chassis, lots of you have been very creative from what I've seen so far, which is great. You might want to be using cereal boxes. And this is where we talked about before, about the size of your car. So if you want a really large car, then think about what objects have you got lying around the house that you could use to make the car. So like cereal boxes are great because they're quite a lot in large in size, or a milk carton is quite big in size. If you want to make it smaller, then a Coke can is a bit smaller, so you could use that. Or even if you got some cardboard and cut it up and made your own shape. You might even want to use cardboard to make a racing car. So think about the sleek design that you would need there to help it move quick. So we need to think about holding our things in place and joining things together. And we explored this a little bit when we were looking at washers with the axles and the wheels. So hopefully you've got some tape at home, whether that's masking tape, sellotape, parcel tape, some kind of tape that you can join things together. If not, there's other things you can use. You can use glue, or you can use string, or you can use blue tack, anything that's an adhesive to stick or join things together. You might even have to use tin foil, because that can be wrapped around things and pinched together to join things together as well. So think about the resources that you need, because that's quite important. So your job today then is going to be to design your final model for your car. Okay, so you need to think really carefully as to what it is that you want to make. So you might want to stick with a very simple structure. And I'm going to show this here on the screen. And I'm sure your drawings will be a lot better than mine. Okay, but you might want to stick with a really simple structure where you've got a quite squarish box or a cuboid box, and then you've got your wheels on the ends of your axles. You need a space for your passenger. I might cut out here. Okay, I might make it 3D, because at the front of mine I'm going to put lights on so it can be seen at dark. Okay, and then you can have a go at labeling that up as well. So for example, lights, wheels. Okay, and don't forget to say as well what materials you're going to use. So for example, for the wheels, I'm going to use bottle tops or lids. Okay, you might want to choose a different design. So for example, you might want to be a bit more creative. So you might want to have a go at, move that here. So if you don't want this sort of shape on yours, then you might be thinking about a more smoother shape. We talked about racing cars, didn't we? So we might more want to have this sort of shape for our chassis, for our structure. And you might even want just one wheel at the front and 2 wheels at the back. So that might be something that you want on your design. Okay. So have a little think and a bit of an explore as to what you want on your car model that you're going to do. And I would advise you to have a little go at making something different to next week, because you might have found that some of it didn't work from last week anyway. So once you've made this design today, tomorrow we're going to have a go at putting this car together. So this design has to be perfect, and you need to make sure you've got all these resources in your house, and make sure you've checked with your parents that you've got them all before you do it. Okay, I can't wait to see all your designs, so don't forget to send me them through so I can see what we're planning on making tomorrow. Good luck, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.